What is the best red light therapy panel under $1,000? Well, behind me I have 17 of the latest red light therapy panels on the market, and I've actually just finished reviewing them all to find an overall winner. Now, out of those 17, only a handful of them are available under $1,000. So what we're going to do is have a closer look at these sub $1,000 panels and a look at some of the panels that are just over that $1,000 mark. And also, I've got a couple other panels that aren't included behind me that I think I need to talk about as well. So that's going to be covered later in the video. So in my 2024 comparison series where I look at all 17 of these panels, I took each panel through an assortment of tests and scored them appropriately. By the way, you can check out that full video whenever suits. I'll put a link to it below. If you're happy to stretch the budget over $1,000, then yeah, that video is going to be very helpful. So here you can see the full final standings on screen. Now what I've done is I've highlighted the 3 panels that are available for under $1,000. We have the Red Therapy Co. Red Rush at $970, the I Do Lighting $1,500 at about $500, and then the Bond Charge Hive Max way down there at 17th, last place for $902. Now I need to mention that these prices are discounted prices. You see I'm affiliated with quite a few red light therapy companies. That means they give me a discount code or a discount link. I share it with you guys. You get a discount. I get a commission. It's a win-win for all. So these prices I'm sharing are the discounted prices, all right? That's using the discount code or the link down below. So if you look at those results, if you're capped out at $1,000, no matter what, it makes sense to go with the Red Therapy Co. Red Rush. It placed 9th out of 17th with 56.5 points. That means I guess it's an average panel since it came in about average place, but it is the best of the 3 sub $1,000 panels. However, for half the price, you drop down to the I Do Lighting $1,500. It's $500. It's a lot cheaper. Now, the I Do Lighting panel is a direct from China, direct from the factory Alibaba purchase. I've actually reviewed this panel. I've reviewed all the panels I've mentioned separately. So if you want to check them out at any time, check out the links later. But buying direct from China, it can have its downsides. Yes, there are some amazing cost savings, as we can see here. But sometimes just getting that panel, or if there's problems later on, can be a bit ugly. It's a hot topic over in our Facebook group. I'll put a link to that. Check it out. Go in there, search for Alibaba or China or factory, and you'll see a ton of posts arguing the pros and cons. Some people have had great experiences. Others have said, oh my God, I wish I just spent the premium and bought from a local company. So that's up to you. But if you are on a super tight budget and you don't want to go over $1,000, then yeah, it's definitely worth considering because look how much cheaper it is. And it's nearly as good as the Red Therapy Red Rush 840. Now, when I look at the cost of all of these panels, I saw that a lot were available under $1,100. I know the title of this video is Best Panel Under $1,000, but what happens if you do spend that extra 10%? Well, let's look at panels that were $1,100 or less. So as you can see on the table here, I've now highlighted the 3 panels that were just over $1,000. The Infrared Pro Max for $1,079, the Color Elite $1,085, and the Cyto LED Triple X $1,008. What's interesting though is all 3 of these panels, though they are more expensive, placed worse than the Red Therapy panel and the Alibaba panel. So in a nutshell, there's no point spending that extra few dollars for these panels. I guess that makes it easy, right? Well, while we're doing this, let's bump the price up again. Let's say sub $1,200, okay? I know we're pushing it here, but you know the saying, buy once, cry once. If you're gonna buy something, do it properly. So let's see where the panels under $1,200 placed overall. What's interesting is now we're seeing panels that performed exceptionally well. They're at the top of the leaderboard here. So first up, you can see the Mito Red Light Mito Pro 1500X. That sells for $1,187, came in at 5th place. Then you have the Rouge Care G3 Pro, which is only $1,112. Came in at 4th place. So, if you're doing a placing versus value calculation, the Rouge G3 is really, really good. And then finally, we have the Royo Therapy Refine 900. This came in at 3rd place, 3rd out of 17 panels, all right? Like really, really good placing. It's a really, really good panel. Trust me. Check out the review. I highly rate this panel. And you can pick that up for $1,165. Now, again, I know we're stretching the budget, but I can tell you now the difference between, say, the Royo Therapy Refine at $1,165 and the Red Rush 840 at $970 is worth that $200 odd. Like, you're getting a lot more bells and whistles, a lot more features, a much better product. Of course, though, if you're stretching your budget to $1,165, then you may as well add another $100 on and consider the top overall placing, which was the Platinum LED Biomax, which is $1,235. But yeah, this is probably starting to get a little bit out of control, right? So anyway, this is hopefully just giving you food for thought. And remember, I have done reviews on all of these panels individually. So if you are considering pushing the budget, go check the review out. You may find that actually the positives don't really seem that worth it. Okay, so let's pull this back to the $1,000 mark. All right, that's a hard limit. Your credit card is tapped out. You've only got $1,000, or you're just really disciplined. In which case, good on you. And $1,000 is the hard limit. There are a few other options. You see, what I did with this comparison series is I took one panel from every company. I took their panel that had 300 LEDs or less, like the biggest one that fitted that criteria. But every company sells a wide range of panels. For instance, I mentioned the Platinum LED Biomax 900, which won the 2024 series. They also have a 600 and a 450 and a tabletop 300. If you look at Mitre Red Light panel, they also have smaller ones and they also have big ones. This is true for a lot of companies. So what I've done is I've looked at some of these top players, the top companies, and I've looked at what options were available for the $1,000 or less price point. First up, you have the Platinum LED Biomax 600. You can get this for a discounted price of $997 US. They also do free shipping to the States, so that's your total landed price if you live in America. Their panel has 200 LEDs, it's 36 inches tall and 9 inches across. Now, Block Blue Light, who came in second place with their Mega panel, also have a Max panel. This sells for $935 after using discount code ALEX. It has 240 LEDs and it measures 39 inches by 8 inches. Mitre Red Light, who came in fifth place, they have a 750X. Now it only has 150 LEDs, so it is a lot smaller, but you can get it for a much lower price point. It's $712. Now it's only 23 inches tall, but it is 10 inches across. Finally, there's Royo Therapy. They placed third overall. They have their 600 panel. I'm not too sure on all the specs at the time of filming, but given they placed third overall and they have a really good price point, highly recommend checking out their panel as well, because I'm sure it's going to come in at a great price point. So when we look at this table here, you can see 3 exceptionally good panels from great red light therapy companies, and you can see quite a few options here. Do you want to get one that's got as many LEDs as possible? Then the Block Blue Light panel should be good. Do you want a panel from the winning company, Platinum LED? Then the Biomax 600 is a clear winner. Or what happens if you want to get a stand or save some money? Maybe that $1,000 price point was like already a stretched budget. In which case, check out the Mitre Red Light 750X. Sure, it's only got 150 LEDs, but still, it's pretty good value and it is a really good panel. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, can you go down, hit the like button and subscribe? I do a heap of these comparison series, reviews, news, science, all sorts of stuff. And so if you want to know more about red light therapy, this is the channels to subscribe to. Okay, so you've watched all of this and now you're thinking, all right, Alex, this is great. You've given me lots of insights and a lot of choices, but I'm still confused. And I know, it sucks, right? Like it is really, really hard. I mean, even in my comparison series, go check it out. It is a good watch and you'll probably learn quite a few things about red light therapy and what to look for in panels when you watch that video. But it really does depend on various circumstances. Where you live, what your budget is, of course, how you're going to use the panel. Are you going to use it in an apartment? Are you going to fix it to a wall? Do you already have panels? Are you going to build a full array? And then also, what type of user you are. Are you a bit of a geek and you want to go deep into the settings, in which case the Royo panels are really, really great? Or do you want to keep it really basic, in which case maybe a Platinum LED panel with its simple on-off button, on-off remote is best for you. Of course, though, you need to consider the technical features. You see Block Blue Light, Platinum LED, Mitre Red Light, Royo Therapy, Rouge, they all have completely different wavelengths. If we include the Alibaba I Do lighting panel, that panel only uses 850 and 660 nanometer red light. There's no bells and whistles in this panel. There's no pulsing. There's no app. There's no fancy remotes or anything like that. Whereas, say, if you compare that to the Royo Therapy panels, they have a touchscreen. They have an application. You can customize every single wavelength. You can go through and use their inbuilt smart protocols. You can save your own protocols. And they're using 5 wavelengths, 810, 830, 850, 630, and 660. Plus, if you get the larger panel, it comes with a free floor stand. The list of features for the Royo panel is a lot more longer than the Alibaba panel. And then you look at the Platinum LED range, they have 7 wavelengths. The 5 I just mentioned from Royo Therapy, plus they have blue light for acne and 10 60 nanometer near-infrared light, which is quite exciting. There's a lot of great research behind that. The Mito Red Light, the Mito Pro X range, their panels include amber light at 590 nanometers. We've written an article on 590 nanometers over at Light Therapy Insiders, so you can check that out. But you can see there are a lot of variables. There are a lot of options here. It's not just get the cheapest one. I mean, you can. Like the iDo Lighting Alibaba panel is going to work. It's just that the other panels may work better. They may actually have better value. There's better features. It may be easier to use if you're going to get multiple panels over the years. For instance, the Biomax panel works really, really well when you clip them all together. The Biomax has 5 different stand options. Royo Therapy includes a floor stand. Do you see what I mean? It is a bit tricky. Firstly, I'll say this. If you are on a $1,000 budget, but there is a little bit of wiggle room, you can wait one more pay cycle. You can push the credit card maybe a little bit, or I don't know, not go out for dinner this week and put it towards the red light therapy panel. I highly recommend doing that because these panels will last, they should last a lifetime. And you're going to use them 4 or 5 times a week, most weeks of the year, right? You're going to get a lot of goodness from it, okay? So that extra $100, even $200 on your $1,000 budget, it's money well spent. It's an investment in your health and wellness. So keep that in mind and maybe go and watch my 2024 comparison series and decide from there. But if you can't do that and $1,000 is already the hard limit, the first thing I'd say is consider where you live. All right, well, factor that into the buying decision-making process. You see, some companies ship for free. Some companies ship for free, but only to the USA. Some companies have warehouses outside the USA, and they also offer free shipping. I talk about this in all of my panel reviews, so maybe come up with a short list, go watch those reviews, and you can learn a bit more about shipping options. But let me just run through real quickly. Mito Red Light, Royo Therapy, and Platinum LED all offer free shipping into America. Block Blue Light do shipping to America for about $10. If you live in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, or the EU, I'd recommend considering options from Block Blue Light or Royo Therapy. They have warehouses all around the world and they offer really good shipping options. To get a Biomax panel shipped to Australia, for instance, you may be spending about $200. Likewise with Mito Red Light. So if you are, let's call it an international customer, maybe just consider Royo or Block Blue Light. If you're in America, then consider those other options. Next, think about what you want from your red light therapy panel and how you're going to use it. Are you someone who just wants something simple, just hang it up, turn it on, away you go, but at the same time you want to make sure you're getting a good panel and a reliable panel? In which case, I may suggest probably the Platinum LED Biomax 600. You can get that for $997 US. Simple to use, but it has a ton of power and some really nice features as well. If you want to really geek out on this stuff and play around with it, you're a bit of a biohacker, then I'd probably say go with the Royo Therapy panel. Now, their refined 900 panel was $1,165 after using discount code Alex, which again is probably out of your budget. But check out their smaller panel. Head over to the Royo Therapy website. I'll put a link to it down below. Look at those smaller options, crunch the numbers. You may find you can get quite an advanced panel for a really good price. Otherwise, if this is all still confusing you, either leave a comment below or head over to our Facebook group where you can leave a comment, ask a question, or just search through all the other posts. Or failing that, just check out this video. It is my 2024 comparison series. It'll help you learn a lot more about red light therapy panels. And who knows, maybe you'll find one of those 17 panels to be the perfect one for you.